This is the last day of the month. This is it for August. We will never see this month again because in 66 days, it all changes. I mean, it changes no matter what. It changes. It either changes back to reality or it's going to be stolen on the level, okay, by these folks. You could say, you can look at this however you want. You can laugh at this however you want. You can dismiss it. You can do whatever you can take this. This is as serious as it gets. Now, the good news is, there is so much, absolutely, there is so much in the world going on now from a lot of people who are saying, wait a minute, this woman is imbecilic. This woman, Kamala, is absolutely, positively imbecilic. We're going to be talking about that. And even I just did a Lionel Nation members will see this first. There's a drop later on tonight of a piece I did in support of Michael Imperioli, who is Christopher Moltisanti from The Sopranos, who made some lame comment when he saw a rather, well, interesting photo of Kamala years ago, and he said, "Boy, I would vote for her for this picture," and he just made some attempt. And I basically come to his defense because who the hell is Michael Imperioli? And at least he said, well, I will vote for her because of what she looked like 40 years ago versus I will vote for her for what she's saying now. That would have been inexcusable, dear friends. But before we begin, let me tell you right now, there is something so important for you to remember. This is the last day of the month. Hurry up. Whatever you do, drop what you're doing and go to preparewithlionel.com because they've got a deal right now, which is, and unfortunately, I wish I knew for sure. Does this end now? Does it end tomorrow? Get this food before it's too late. The mega 3-month food supply. It is unbelievable. Go to this. Go to preparewithlionel.com. Think about this. 2,500 calories a day. This is the emergency food kit. This is the kit. 25-year. Well, you've been through this whole thing. 25-year shelf life. Think about this. Of 2,500 a days, 2,500 calories per day for 90 days. Fortified for survival. You've got all essential vitamins. You've got everything you can buy. The variety, the ruggedness of this. I mean, this will last. This will go through. Just look at this. You've got to see this for yourself. Preparewithlionel.com. 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 Just let it speak for you, because this is the end of the month, my friends, and that is serious business. And while we're at it, let me just remind you of, again, this man that we love to death. MyPillow.com, preparewithlionel.com, and also MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. What can I tell you about this? Look at what's going on. Look at the Labor Day. Look at that. Came at the Labor Days here. Remember the old days of Jerry Lewis? Those days are gone. But MyPillow's here. MyPillow.com /Lionel or MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, or call 800-645-4965 and watch how fast Mike Lindell answers it. They're just the greatest folks in the world. See for yourself. No hard sell here. You know, you've got 2 eyes and you've got a brain and you know what to do. Now, my friends, I want to just say something right off the bat. There's so much good going on. Again, this fellow, Michael Imperioli, I don't want to be one of these ones who jumps on him. He has the right to say whatever he wants. But this is a guy who is so boring. You know, all of those Sopranos people are on the balls of their ass. None of them really took off. Nothing. I went to a place. Mrs. L and I had we had a lunch today, and interestingly enough, it's kind of right around what would be Tony Soprano country, right around North Caldwell, that Bloomfield Avenue area. And lo and behold, I'm in there, and I see somebody who says, "A Night with the Sopranos," and it was the guy who did Big Pussy and other people, and they show up to do these meet and greets. And it's really kind of sad. Lorraine Bracco, you don't even recognize her with all that face work. Remember Paulie Walnuts at the end? I mean, this was what, 20, 25 years ago, whatever it was. I mean, this was in our mind. We remember this. And it was frozen. And Michael Imperioli, as far as how great he was as Christopher, and he played Spider and others, it's over. People will never, ever see him again, other than as Christopher. Mrs. L saw one time James Gandolfini in Art. I think it was Art. I think it was Broadway. It was a Broadway piece called Art. Yes. Yeah, it was a performer. And he was in, I think it was called Art. God of Carnage, On the Waterfront, Streetcar Named Desire. He did I think it was called, wasn't it Art we saw him in? Art. And everybody wanted to see Tony Soprano do this. And he wanted to be, a serious actor. As does Andrew, who says, warning, this show may contain more than one subject. If you can't handle it, check it at the home, as Rickles would say. Indeed. Thank you, Andrew, for that. Thank you. We had somebody today in the morning show says, my wife doesn't understand how he changes the subject. It's like, yeah. Imagine watching a Mitch Hedberg set. In any event. So when James Gandolfini came out and tried to be the serious actor, nobody got it. And then during the course of this, I believe the actual scene involved the F word, and everybody laughed hysterically because that was Tony Soprano. And he didn't want to be Tony Soprano. He just, all these people, nobody wants to see them anymore. Nobody wants to see. Let me see. Sopranos ended. They ended, 2007. Isn't that something? The final episode, 2007. Yeah, that's what it says. June 10th, 2007, written and directed. 17 years? 17 years ago. So anyway, and if you've ever seen David Chase is so boring too. He's absolutely so all these people, it's like watching, and you see these horrible reunions. Remember when they had The Godfather on the Today Show, and you had James Caan who couldn't keep serious, and De Niro who didn't say anything. Sometimes things are just left. So Michael Imperioli did his thing. One time he came into a bar right around, not too far from where Fox is, that 30 Rock part. We were there, and he walks in and he kind of looks around, and nobody said a word. Nobody acknowledged him. You could tell it drove him crazy. This was years ago. But I don't know that. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, so he puts this thing out. He puts this tweet or Instagram, and he says, boy, and it's a picture of a very, dare I say, I don't want to say epicene or androgynous, or maybe it was just a sign of the time. It was a very young, whatever it was a picture, big deal, of Kamala. And he said, boy, I would have voted her because of that. Well, they just came after him. But at least he didn't say, I like her because of her policies. That would have been inexcusable. So everybody realizes she's a joke. Everybody recognizes the fact that she is a joke. Now, let me tell you something. Here's one for you, which I find so interesting. I told you to please check out our good friend Dom Luker. Dom Luker says there are two, there was this, who was a fellow who died today? Somebody fat. He died apparently on stage. He's rapper. I don't know the names. I'm sorry. I don't pretend to. I'm not going to do this. But apparently there's been footage of Grammy-nominated rapper Fivio Foreign, or Fivio. I think it's Fivio. at Trump's rally greeting Puerto Rican rapper Anuel AA in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. And according to Dom, he said, this is huge for the culture. There is truly a massive culture shift happening in America, and it's conservative. So here's what this is. Now, I agree with him 100%. Please notice this, pay homage, pay heed to this, whether you recognize this or not. This is apparently very big. This is incredibly big here. Now, we must understand what this means. What this means is that there are people from various areas, avenues, aspects, portions, venues of our society who never would have thought it cool. And this is what I've been saying. I'm sounding like Dershowitz, but I've been saying the best thing to happen would be, number one, to destroy the internecine structure of the Democratic Party through Israel and Palestine. That particular disagreement, as we talked about this morning, and as Breitbart even reflected, also is to have people come from areas to say, it's okay, you can vote for Trump, it's cool. You won't lose your, as the kids call it, cred. You won't lose your cred. It's okay. We give you the okay. Okay, you dig? That's what's critical. That's what's critical. And people are also recognizing the fact they are just enjoying the fact of this absolute insanity. That is not only Kamala, but the Democratic Party itself. Dig this.
What he's been tweeting today, directed at the whistleblower.
Now, let me stop right there. This is about, as you know, Twitter is going crazy with the banning that's going on in Brazil. Elon is sending out the word. We had our dear friend this morning, our chef CEO, lady friend, Lionel family member, bring this up as well. Others are saying this. This is huge. And what they're also saying is that Kamala will be absolutely front and center in censorship. Look at what she's done before.
You look at what he's been tweeting today, directed at the whistleblower, directed at so many people. I frankly think that based on this and all we've seen him do before, including attacking members of Congress, that he frankly his Twitter account should be suspended. He is irresponsible with his words in a way that could result in harm to other people. And so the privilege of using those words in that way should probably be taken from him. Should probably be taken from him. Should probably be taken from him.
He has lost his privileges, and it should be taken down.
Privilege.
And the bottom line is that
First Amendment.
You can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight.
Are you listening to this?
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Yes, there is.
I know you wrote to Twitter and the CEO, Jack Dorsey, and asked him to take away the president's Twitter handle, his account.
Unbelievable.
How is that not a violation of free speech? I mean, the president has the same rights that you have, that I have, and how would that not just be a slippery slope? Or
listen, America.
I've heard that argument, but here's the thing, Jake. First of all, a corporation, which is what Twitter is, it does not have it has obligations, and in this case, Twitter has terms of use policy.
Oh my God!
And their terms of use dictate who receives the privilege of speaking on that platform and who does not. And Donald Trump has clearly violated the terms of use, and there should be a consequence for that. And there should be a consequence for that. Not to mention the fact that he has used his platform, being the president of the United States, States in a way that has been about inciting fear and potentially inciting harm against a witness to what might be a crime against our country and our democracy. And for that reason, I do believe that it's clear that he has violated the terms of use, and I'm asking that Twitter does what it has done in previous occasions, which is to revoke someone's privilege.
Are you listening to this? It is absolutely positively against the First Amendment to have private industry act as proxies, to act as an accomplice to the destruction of free speech. That's simple. That's simple. And that's what she's talking about. That's the insanity of this. WBM Fishman says, Lionel, someone in the Trump campaign must be listening. They're using the "my values have not changed" and running the change values that you suggested. You are getting through. I hope so. I hope so. I do. Edie Crowley says, my son makes me watch Trump rallies with him when I'm at his apartment. I've created a monster. Good. I think that's a good monster. Remember, Frankenstein's monster was a good monster. Now, this is what's happening. This is what you tell people. You tell people. Everybody, and what did I say before? Always make sure you put it in terms of personalizing it. Gracie Loves George says, our democracy is a constitutional republic. Yes, indeed. We elect people to basically elect to speak for us. We don't it's not tyranny by the majority. We know that. And thank you for that. That's true. You have to tell people this. If Kamala is president, she will shut down your ability to enjoy Instagram, Twitter, X, Facebook, whatever you want. You like WhatsApp, you like Telegram, they're coming after them. And these are means by which you can speak. They are the telephone, they are the press, they are the newspaper. They are precisely what the drafters of the Constitution had in mind. And I cannot use a private company to shut down an individual. I can't pick up, which is exactly what Zuckerberg said. They told him to do. This is exactly what happened. This is precisely what happened. They told him. He even said it. Facebook said, you better back off and shut these people down. This was regarding COVID and various palliatives and medicines and the like. You can't do this. It is clear. So you've got to say something, President Trump. They're going to shut your ability down. If you post something one day and your ability, you can't do any more dance videos, any more recipes. You can't take pictures of your food and selfies. It's over. Do you think this is a private institution? This is how the world speaks. Do you hear this? Oh, there's more.
Causes work that I did as vice president that I was asked to do by the president.
Oh, this is wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, this is second only to most people regarding the border. I think surprisingly, it's more tenuous than the others, but it's effective nonetheless.
The root causes work that I did as vice president that I was asked to do by the president has actually resulted in a number of benefits.
A grand jury has indicted the suspects charged in Laken Riley's death. The indictment accuses Jose Ibarra, who authorities say is in the country illegally, of killing the 22-year-old nursing student.
An illegal immigrant that is accused of sexually assaulting an 11-year-old girl.
Body camera footage of the attack on two officers by a group of migrants in Times Square.
23-year-old Victor Martinez Hernandez, who came across the border illegally, according to investigators, has been charged in the brutal rape and murder of Rachel Morin.
An illegal immigrant now accused of killing a mother and son while driving drunk, and he had already been deported multiple times before his latest arrest.
The sheriff's office says they forced a woman into a car, then committed sexual battery on her. All three are undocumented immigrants from Guatemala.
2 migrants charged in the death of that 12-year-old Texas girl. Man is behind bars and faces a felony charge in the death of a woman from Grand Rapids.
Police telling you that the suspect wasn't supposed to be in the U.S.
Deputy Hartwick was struck and killed by a large piece of construction equipment. It was being driven at the time by an illegal alien.
Bernardo Raul Castro Mata, the Venezuelan migrant who shot 2 police officers earlier this month, came face to face with the judge this morning.
Has actually
Check that name out. Check this name out. Normally they say like Manawarigaragua. Check this one.
Legal alien.
Bernardo Raul Castro Mata, the Venezuelan migrant who shot 2 police officers earlier this month, came face to face with the judge this morning.
Has actually resulted in a number of benefits.
Okay, Imperioli. That's it. All right, tough guy. That's it. You like that? You like that? This is it, my friends. 66 days to go. This is what's happening. Nobody's buying this. Nobody's buying this. Nobody. I keep saying this again. Nobody wants her. They might want somebody. They want Trump's adversary. But nobody likes her. Nobody knows her. I am telling you this. Listen, there's more.
He has lost his privileges and it should be taken down. And the bottom line is that
I love this.
You can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power.
No.
They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And that has to stop.
That has to stop. Wouldn't you love to see a kind of a dramatic rendition or a dramatic version of the drafters of the Constitution, Madison and Jefferson, sitting around watching her saying, well, that's exactly right. Well, it's misinformation. Well, what misinformation? Who determines what? That's your definition. You can't shut somebody's speech down by calling it misinformation and saying, okay, everybody back off. It's misinformation. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. She's been saying this blather for so long. With impunity, she thinks she's not going to suffer from this. And everybody is scared out of their minds when they hear this. And that's why that's why other people are so incredibly, well, now, let's move a little bit further. The only thing I will say in favor of Bill Maher is that for some reason people are appearing on his shows and we are exposing the insanity of these folks. Crypto Domini says, I heard today the gang in Aurora is getting paid the rents. Yes. And the landlord called the local police. They said they can't help. They called the FBI. They said they can't help. So the mayor is a freaking tyrant. The mayor is doing nothing. He's not even a tyrant. They need a tyrant. This is a Tren de Aragua. And they are actually paying rents to these people. It's a little bit deeper, but this could be stopped immediately. They're scratching their ass, wondering what do we do? Now, let's talk about this. To all of you young people, if you have children, grandchildren, people trying to get a start, trying to buy that big house, whatever this house stream, that thing's gone away. I don't even know where this comes from, but you could say goodbye to that. We're going to have a house. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, it's over with. And you know why? Because of this.
California lawmakers just passed a law. It hasn't been signed by Governor Newsom, but giving government assistance to undocumented immigrants to buy houses. Mm-hmm. That's kind of a different place than the Democratic Party used to be on immigration, is it not? I'm not going to say that's what the country's going to do, but that's certainly where California is.
Well, let me just say, immigration had always been a bipartisan issue. I refer you to...
We're not talking about immigration.
Well, that's not free housing. It's the American dream being available to more people. But
no, it's free.
Understand this about immigration. The best speech on immigration was by President Ronald Reagan. This is the last speech I will make as President of the United States. I want to communicate a message to the country I love. And he talked about the Statue of Liberty and the
not illegal immigration
world and what America was
Ronald Reagan never talked about handing $250,000 or $250,000 or $150,000, just giving them to illegals to buy a house. He never said this. How dare you? How dare you confuse the two?
Preeminent in the world because our door was always open, and we will cease to be preeminent when we shut the door.
Absolute caca del toro. We are collapsing because of this not open door, open border. This is the problem. I want everybody to listen. Forget Kamala. She's just a sock puppet. She's a wind sock. She's just somebody there. This is the voice of the Democratic Party. This is what we have to destroy ideologically. It's the party, not just Kamala, but this one, this witch, this harridan, this virago and termagant.
Now, I don't do justice to the great communicator. Google it. It's a fabulous speech. And George Herbert Walker Bush continued in that respect for the diversity of
never
America
illegal,
and the rest.
never.
California's always in the lead. Maybe others will
in the
follow
lead.
that lead, but that's up to those states.
Look at San Diego. Look about the lead. Look what's going on. Just look at this insanity, this parallel universe that she's living in.
But we are very blessed here with beautiful diversity.
Diversity. She's spewing this. She doesn't mean anything. She lives in a very exclusive area in San Francisco, and the story will never be told about her husband, the drunkard, and the dude with the hammer. And you know what happened, and I know what happened, and all of us know what happened. And they just kind of, and that little diversity in terms of lifestyle, and dare we say, one might call it even polyamory. I don't know, or Cleveland amory. Nobody's mentioning that at all. This woman is she is an ambulatory psychopath. No consequence to what she says. No feeling, no head-heart connection, nothing.
Vote for this law?
Excuse me?
So you'd vote for this law?
Well, I'm not familiar with exactly what it is, but
you're not familiar. You're with Gavin Newsom, Newsom, Brown, and Getty. Remember Balthazar Getty. That's the one behind Gavin. And Gavin is 1050. Gavin is to Kamala what fentanyl is to Tylenol. Think about that.
Making the American dream of home ownership available to all people.
The American dream, not to Americans, but to illegals.
Well, it's something we have to do for people who are here now.
This is before you're a citizen. This is undocumented. This is for the undocumented.
Well, what I would like to do is move them to documented.
What about Americans? What about people born here, fully documented? And they've already done that for you by virtue of their being born here. Oh, this makes me sick. I can't even watch this. Think about people actually clapping for this. Think about this. Crypto Domini says, yes, we heard that today. Thank you. Dr. Clona Steve Dreamkiller says, I'm not saying she's old, but that pearl necklace was left there by Joseph P. Kennedy in 1929. Ah, yes. And old Gloria, not Gloria Steinem, Gloria, what was her name? Gloria Swanson. Okay. All right, my friends. Now, why do you think Kamala wants the microphones turned off? What is she hoping for? What does she want to accomplish? One, Lori Cook says, in lead to the race at the bottom, Nancy built a nice soccer field in Israel. There you go. Oh, she is just. But it's important that you hear her because remember, it's not Kamala. She feeds, and she's not even in charge. She's an intermediary. But this is why, and see if you can see why immediately. This is what Kamala is hoping to do to Trump.
Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait.
I'm speaking.
It'd be important if you said the truth.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Okay.
This is what she wants.
If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then have a conversation. Okay?
Please.
Okay.
Non-answer.
Trying to answer you
the
now.
American people deserve a straight answer.
I will not sit here and be lectured by the Vice President. I'm speaking. Yeah, I'm about to.
This is the tough gal.
I will not be lectured by the Vice President.
This is what she wants. This is why she wants mics on so she can do this. Now, what does Trump do? Trump has to let her know ahead of time and say, oh, is this where you're going to start saying, let me speak? This is why you want to Call her out on it during the debate. Tell her, this is we've been all waiting for this. This is where you can say, I'm speaking, like you did to Mike Pence. We know what you're doing. This is your chance to act tough. Is this it? Or did I blow your cover? I'm sorry. Did I ruin this? Did I ruin this for you, Nance? I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Kevin says, how much of her $240 million has she given away? Nada, ni cojones. Dr. Dreamkiller says she wants mics so she can say, I'm speaking, nod, I'm speaking. That's precisely right. That's exactly right. Buddha Buddy TT Boy says, listening to you and playing the Chicago song, feeling stronger every day. I am living the dream. By the way, listening to play instead, What's This World Coming To by Chicago. What's This World Coming To? Listen to that great Terry Kath riff right in the middle. Chicago 7, or I don't know what it was, but What's This World Coming To? One of the best one. That is incredible. Okay. Also, It Better End Soon, My Friend from Chicago 4 live at Carnegie Hall. That's another classic one. And Dialogue is still the Bobby Lamb classic is still an absolutely, there's a song for Richard and His Friends also off of Chicago 4 live at Carnegie, which is about Nixon, but you can throw it in for anybody. Hey, now will you go away? We're so tired of the things that you say, even though you never said a word that would help anyone but yourself. Tomorrow was such a bad dream. Yeah, such a bad dream. The great Hammond B3. Chicago will never, ever, ever be really understood if you just listen to the top 40, just you and me. I mean, that's nice stuff. And you're the inspiration. That's nice, but their political stuff is terrific. George Len says, stole that line from Ratso Rizzo. I'm walking here. That's right. And that happened not too far from us. That was the old Cosmic Diner on 58th and Broadway. Right now, right by Central Park. That was that class, and that happened serendipitously. That very, very famous scene. So, to recap, to remind you what needs to be done. First and foremost, if you didn't hear this morning, and again, I talked to a lot of my conservative friends, my prototypical friends, they don't know what I'm talking about. Kamala is literally challenged, bruh. Oh, absolutely. And thank you, Gracie. We need to remind people and put them into the context, put them into the actual frame of reference of explaining to them what is happening right now involving their Democratic Party as it pertains to Israel. Breitbart today had a piece. I've been talking, I know I sound like Dershowitz, but I don't mean to. But I have been advocating this for a long time, and that is that I want the Democratic Party to know that there is no difference between Donald Trump and Kamala when it comes to Israel. And so what they will do is they will be uncommitted. They will sit this one out. Dr. Dreamkiller says Pizza Terrace 80s stuff did to Chicago what Buckingham and Nix did to Fleetwood Mac. Total different after those moments. Well, that was also David Foster. There was also a rift. Remember when Terry Kath died in 77 or whatever, that was it. Even though Chris Pinnock, who I think not only looked like him, was, oh my God. And then, oh yeah. Fat Man who? Scoop? Yeah, Scoop. What about him? Yes. Do we know the cause of death? Oh, we don't know yet. Okay. Collapsed on stage. In any event, after Terry Kath died, There was a big deal. Like I said, Chris Pinnock was great. Donnie Dacus, I'm Alive Again, that kind of thing. Cetera wanted to go out. Cetera there was a lot of battles. I can't watch it today. People say, let's go see Chicago. Walt Parazator's gone. I think it's Lee Loughnane. No, well, Lee Loughnane's still there. Jimmy Panko's still there. Bobby Lamb. And that's it. That's it. Cetera was one of the best bass players. Listen to, it better end soon, listen to Terry Kath with Cetera backing him on bass at Carnegie Hall. You can't believe this. I mean, this is the rawest stuff you've ever heard. Listen to Terry Kath doing the lead from Hit by Varese. So, and I love Something in the City Changes People. Oh my God. Beautiful. Hollywood. Ain't It Blue? Have you heard, my friends, Leonid and Friends, the Chicago cover band? I think in some respects are even better than that. Andrew Hessing says, what's with the nut at the Trump rally today? The nut? I did not see that. I'm sorry. I'm losing a little, I don't want to say patience, but I think the rallies, they're very important in Pennsylvania. Swing states they are, don't get me wrong, because that's presence, and he's got to tailor the particular message for Pennsylvania, but always it's got to be you. Kamala's going to ruin you and your family and your free speech and your state and your business and that's what that has to be done. That's the name of that tune. You can't do these kind of generic things about whatever it is. I'm sorry. But going back to what I said, number one, if you have the uncommitted, if they just sit this one up, because remember, there's two things I want to do. Either if you're not going to vote for Trump, I want you not to vote for anybody at all. That's what I want. Number two, I want to go in and I want to force an absolute intel kind of a inside job, so to speak, where I want to find out who are the individuals who are going to see, who is Nancy Pelosi's enemy, the squad, AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley's pretty much gone. Cori Bush is gone. Okay, that's the squad. Now, and within the squad, I want there to be a fracture with AOC. They told her down the line, you are never going to be president. If you go the way of this pro-Palestinian, pro-whatever, it ain't going to work. You can kiss it goodbye. Rashida Tlaib, you may hate her. I wouldn't vote for her at all, but she's sincere. She's 100% sincere. And there's a lot of people who make great points regarding Palestine, but they are the most despicable of people. It's a strange world, politics. Sometimes people that you would not normally agree with. Did you know, dear friends, when Carrie Nation and the Women's Christian Temperance Unit, do you know with whom they aligned initially? The Klan. Racist, anti-black groups. That's right. The right around the time prior to what led to Prohibition, the families that were destroyed by virtue of the devil juice was through the roof. And there were people who wanted it banned in this country. They wanted the country to go prior to Volstead and all that and the Prohibition. So with whom did they align? The Klan? They weren't. Why was the Klan pro-temperance? Well, first of all, moonshiners, revenuers, they didn't particularly care for. But they believed that black men, when anything got in the way that broke down the firewall of their libido, this raw, untamed, this wild negritude, this concupiscent negritude, these satyrs, satiriasis, all of that. The black man, unchained, bad choice of words, but untethered by the devil weed, and later on by marijuana, reefer madness. So they said, hey, ladies, women, Carry Nation, all this, hey, women's temperance unit, how about if we shake hands? Okay. They had nothing to do with each other, but they agreed with that. How about us having Joseph Stalin as an ally during World War II? You think we trusted Stalin? Hell no. Did he trust us? Hell no. But against that dude with the Chaplin stash, that's what it took. During the Southern strategy in the 60s and 70s, it was brilliant. So what I want to do is I want to go and explain to the Trump administration and the GOP, we're going to do one thing. I want you to imagine when, listen to Richard Burton talk about his father as a coal miner, and they would look at a seam of coal and they would know just where to hit it with the axe, and it would fall perfectly in this wonderful cascade. This wonderful sheet would just slide. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It was gorgeous. It would just slide. Okay. Sometimes in order to destroy political parties, you got to know where to hit. You got to know where to take your chisel. This is my Trump, and know when to hit it. And you start by going after the base, the Democratic base, Pelosi et al. And then you bring in the interlopers, the outliers, the squad. And then within the squad, you do another crack of the seam and you break that apart by cleaving off AOC, and you want it to be just shattered. Right now, the Democratic Party, for the most part, seems to be intact. You want to shatter it. You want all of the factions to be identified and to be broken apart. Whereas, believe it or not, the Republicans are pretty good. The Republicans are 100% behind Trump. There's no Trump or anybody else. Edie Crowley says they muddy the water to make it seem deep. Ooh, I like it. Nietzsche. Very good. I like that. I'm going to remember that one. I had never heard that one before. I like that. That's very good, Edie Crowley. Excellent for you. Now, so that's that. You have to go and remember people. You've got to go out. And I would have people go from campus to group, and have people say very peacefully, ladies and gentlemen, young people, they're going to do it to you again. They did it to you with Bernie, and now they're going to do it again. Vote for Kamala. You might as well be voting for Trump. If you believe in Palestinian rights, if you believe that Israel's committing genocide, which is what they're saying, if you believe that this is apartheid, which is what the ICC and the ICJ are saying, which is what South Africa is saying, if you believe this is ethnic cleansing, which a lot of people are saying, if you believe this is what Israel's doing, then you might as well vote for Donald Trump, because Kamala is absolutely committed to that. Now, is that factually true? I think it's true. Say it. Go and spread. So what do? Sit this one out. Don't vote. You can't vote for this. Electing not to vote is voting. Saying, no thanks, I'll pass. I'll pass. Believe me, they will take things off the menu of a restaurant if nobody orders it. Remember that. Say no to this. Say no to this ridiculous. You're being absolutely played for as a fool. And what you do whenever you stand up, what do? They take your rights away. These people, if you think Donald Trump is 100% for your ability to speak, I hate to believe that Elon Musk, Bobby Kennedy, they're hooking up with Trump. Now, if you don't want Trump, that's fine, but you've got to vote for nobody. That's what I want. That's number one. Number 2 or 3, you've got to be able to tell me that you have secured the ballots. Nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about this. You're never going to hear it because it's kind of boring. But I promise you, if Watley or Lara Trump, if I were to say, have you done an independent audit through whatever particular means or group there is to determine all of those names who are receiving ballots? Do they exist? Are they on the voter rolls? And do the addresses that those ballots are sent to, are they real? Are they actual homes with bedrooms? They're not office buildings. They're not vacant lots and Best Buys and Walmarts. Can you tell me that? Can you tell me what you've done to ensure that? Can you tell me how you and the GOP or the RNC or whoever the hell it is has dealt specifically and reached out to the secretaries of state of the battleground states in particular? Have you told me, or are you too busy running your marathons and showing everybody how fit and trim you are? Because that's what this is all about. The other night they had Alina Habba come out, and she's going, woo. It's like, you lost. You've lost everything. Now you might say, look, nobody can win. Nobody can beat these cases. Okay, but what are you clapping? She's been on the phone saying, listen, I used to be the hot thing. I used to be the hot babe, okay? Now, I don't know what's the matter, but you haven't had me on anything. I'm not even, Fox isn't calling me back. I'm on nothing. Now, damn it, you better let me come up there, okay? That's right. You better let me come up. Dude, I'm the hot lawyer. Right, you got it. And this Margot Martin, I don't know where she is. She's kind of like quiet. Remember Hope Hicks? Remember how they always have these, like Charlie's Angels? These are like Donnie's girls. They live for this. And there's this weird thing, and I'll be the first one, and you know it's true. Trump goes kind of shingad, you know, when it comes to women, and if they he goes nuts. Moms for Liberty, CPAC, they love him. Now that's okay, but understand something. I don't have time for this. What you do in your own time that's up to you. I don't really give a damn. But you've got to go out and you've got to talk to some people who aren't kissing your ass all the time and aren't walking around like, aren't we hot and all this stuff. I don't know what this is. Okay? But if your idea of a good time is walking around with a bunch of, 40-year-olds with tramp stamps, that's up to you. I don't have time for that. I want you to go out and talk to Black women and Latino women and families. And I want you to get out of no more of this Mar-a-Lago stuff. I like the fact you're going to Pennsylvania, but I want you to go to a Black family's house, and I want you to see how they're living. And I want you to sit there. I want you to talk to them. And I want you to just listen to them. And ask them, have a Black family sit there with and by the way, don't give them any money under the table. I mean, you can, but don't do it because of that reason. And don't pick a broken family. Get a mom and dad nuclear Black family. Dispel this. Not all Black families are broken and nobody's seeing the father and all that. Just stop that. Just go to a regular Black family and just ask them, how are you doing? How many kids do you have? Tell me. Did you get your $150,000 down payment from? Oh, you didn't? No. Well, why? Well, you were born here. Were you born in this country? Yes. And before you, my father was born here, and his father, and his father, his father. You've got a pedigree. Latinos, next. They are the biggest minority. Listen to this. They're not going to be, the whole country is going to be speaking Spanish. Remember, the number one name in the world used to be Muhammad. I don't know about now, but Miguel is probably in this country going to be. There's going to be more Hispanic people, love them more. Do that. Connect. Just talk to them. Let social media do it. They're like the mRNA. They'll send the message, and just sit there and ask, how are you doing? What are your problems? What are you noticing? What is in the old days, there was a time in this country when people worked 40 hours a week and they had pensions and they had houses and the kids went to school. And I don't know how my grandparents did. My grandparents, they were cigar makers in Tampa. I mean, it's incredible. My father through law school. And I mean, they were just regular folks. She was Sicilian. He's Puerto Rican. I mean, they can't, they were here. My grandfather never spoke a lick of English in his life, but worked hard, retired. They never were. I don't know how they did it. And my aunts and uncles, they weren't all rich. Nobody was. They had homes and what is this? Now it's another story. Show a connection. Show a connection. Enough with the Maryland. We don't want to see some woman named Whitney talking to you about Moms for Liberty. We love you. We got that. Who are the people that we're trying to win over? We're trying to win over blacks, Asians, don't forget the Asians, Latinos, and gays. Gays. Super conservative. Super conservative. Let me ask you something. Why? Because you know what gays, what their beef is, so to speak? Interesting phrase. What their beef? Trans. What's this trans business? What about us? What about the Stonewall group? Your work's cut out for you. I've been saying this since the beginning of time. It's important to do what you're doing, but also think 25 years down the road. You're not going to be here forever. I'm not going to be here forever. I want to know who is our intel? Who is our intel group? Who are the folks who are the spirit, the theologians of the party? And another thing too, you're gonna hate this one, but goodbye Republican Party. Got no use for you anymore. I told you, this is my Trump coin, right? In a Butte. I love this one. Solid silver. This thing you could. If you put this in a slingshot, you would. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Look at that Trump. You see that? All right. Two sides of the same coin. Two sides of the same coin. That's the issue. I don't know what a Republican is. I don't even know what this is. Barry Goldwater. I don't know Barry Goldwater. Right, Ronald Reagan. It's a new story. I don't care about the Whigs, the Tories, the Democratic Republicans, the Bull Moosers. I don't care what that is. Americans don't believe in parties. We believe in issues. 4 or 5 basic. It's not so much that we have a policy or a theology. We have a common sense way of looking at things. A common sense way. Very common sense. And there are rooms for, but I don't want people to think, no. We respect the First Amendment when it comes to religion, but we're not a Christian sect. I want Jews and Christians and atheists and Buddhists and Zoroastrians. I don't care what your faith is. But in our party, in our group, if you want to call it a party, we believe in the First Amendment. Free exercise clause and the establishment clause. That's it. Period. End of discussion. That's it. That's it. Every time they go this, thank you, Jesus. It just alienates people. It's like, that's not America. Sorry. Treaty of Tripoli, Section 11. John Adams said it. Remember when they were worried about the Barbary Coast pirates? He called them the Mohammedans. They were scared witless. And he wrote the Treaty of Tripoli. He said, this is not in any way a country based on Christianity or Jesus. Don't worry, because he was trying to tell them, no, let's work together on this. We've forgotten this. Don't give me this business about, well, they were all God-fearing. They were deists at best. Move that out of the way. We have sensible Second Amendment rights. Sensible. What does that mean? What the Constitution says. The right to keep and bear arms. I'm not talking about buying a howitzer. I'm talking about you being able to have enough weapons of your choice with enough military-grade payload and magazine capacity to be able to handle as many people coming at you without having to reload. That's it. That's an assault weapon. Now, with that comes a lot of responsibility. You better start firing an AR-15, good for you. But that round will take somebody out. Now, with that comes responsibility. Crypto says that's a great demographic, Uncle Lenny. Oh, absolutely. I've given this great thought. And we believe in just very simple things. Very, very simple. This is where I love Reagan. Government limited. Not going to bother you. Not going to bother you with all that stuff. Sorry. Not going to bother you. You will never go through the hell we went through during that lockdown. We will never go through that again. Never. That's called biomedical tyranny, biomedical martial law. We are never going to go through that. And the Supreme Court better get off its ass, or somebody better send it a case, because Jacobson against Massachusetts, that 1905 relic that deals with smallpox. Oh my God, that ain't gonna work. Crypto says the one with the axe. Indeed, the one with the axe. Okay. Oh, okay. I guess. I'm not sure. You mean the chisel? In any event, I don't know, but thank you. That's it. This is simple. Kamala has to be destroyed. Philosophically, politically, that party has to be destroyed. We have to have smart people, the wise men and women. We got to think in 25-year increments. This is down the line. And that means getting rid of Carvilles and the Karl Roves and the usual suspects. And I'm sorry, but the Hannitys and the Fox News, they are relics. They are from a time that just doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work anymore. I loved Rush Limbaugh. Knew him very well. Loved him to death. A gentleman and a scholar. And during his time, he was terrific. And John Kennedy was great too, and Nixon was great. But those times, they wouldn't last a minute today. They wouldn't let. You would think that John Kennedy was a part of like a John Bircher or something, and you would not believe how radically normal and middle of the road Dwight Eisenhower was. Eisenhower was incredible. But these are different times. Remember, you don't change your opinion. When the facts change, you change your opinion. That's what John Maynard Keynes said. And I didn't walk away from the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. They walked away from me. This is a different. It's like me going to France and trying to find the Republican Party in France. It doesn't exist. You have to change. We have to adapt constantly. And I want a bigger tent. I want a lot of people in there. And let me show you this right now. And our good buddy, please watch our good friend Dom Luker. He is so great. And he looks, when you see him with his dreadlocks, and all, you think he looks like that guy from, what was that? What was that, Steven Seagal? Screwface. Remember that? The Jamaicans, and oh my God. But look at this. Right there. This means a lot. Right there. This means a lot. Right here. This means everything. And you may say, but right now, the rap and the black world or the youngers is thinking, holy, you mean it's okay? Yes. They gave us the imprimatur? Yes, they did. Wow. Good luck. Try explaining that one to Harris Faulkner or Jesse Waters. By the way, I guess Jesse Waters survived his little brouhaha. And he said, Mr. L, how did you and Mrs. L deal with it when New York City was shut down during the pandemic? Well, believe it or not, we had each other, thankfully, and we did it. And we had this in you, and we just forged ahead. We had each other. A lot of people didn't have somebody, and they went crazy. Thank you, Philip. Cervoni, Cervone, grazie mille. I hope I'm saying it the right way. Oh, the axe in the coal mine. Yes. Go back and see Richard Burton speaking with Dick Cavett about how his father was a coal miner and how his father could see the seam and breaking this down. I want a new party. I want a new everything. I want new everything. The people who are making the most sense, the people who are making it was funny today. I was listening to a bunch of, I hate comics. Hate them. Especially when they start talking to each other about jokes and they all want to act like comics. But to make a long story short, I was listening to Artie Lang, who was so smart. And I was just happened to be listening to some people. One guy I thought was one of the most incredible writers ever was this guy, Mitch Hedberg. And Mitch Hedberg died of opioid or narcotics, heroin, whatever it was. It was just so sad. But was like nobody else's business. Made Stephen Wright look like Nancy and Sluggo. I mean, off the charts. So unique. And in the old days, they had to have They go to a club. And in the club, you would have to, work through the regular routine. Well, guess what? Ta-da! This is the new club. And there are so many comics out there that I'm seeing that are incredible. And I don't even know their names, but I know them when I see them. So what I'm trying to say is this changed everything. Social media changed the way we politic. Social media changed the way we think. Social media changed everything. Everything. And the people, if you're on Fox News, you're going to say, I don't want this to end. And I don't blame you. You're not going to see anybody making $40 million a year. After that shuts down, that's it. It's done. It's over with. You're going to be seeing other people do it. But those days are over. Late night, even news, traffic, and weather. When our local CBS All News, it's not that there's anything wrong with it. It's that things just sort of change. Do you know what's really making up what's interesting here in New York? Listen to this. The lunchtime business, restaurants, is absolutely dying. But you'll see a new Middle Eastern place in Midtown open with lines around the block for takeout. New York is a bunch of young people walking around. Nobody wears a suit, but Midtown they wear the white shirts and the pants without the tie, with the pants, of course. But they have these little boxes, these little salads. That's lunchtime. The 3 martini lunch, it's over with. Steak houses and all this. It's a different world. Restaurants didn't go away. This changed. We're seeing something right now that's so interesting. I'll give you an example, and I can't say this enough. I think it's just so fascinating. Judge Napolitano, who is brilliant, brings together this new group of people that I probably would not have listened to had it not been for the Israel troubles, to borrow from the Northern Irish or Northern Ireland problems. Sinn Féin and all that jazz. You've got Napolitano, you got Mearsheimer, you got Scott Ritter, you've got Jeffrey Sachs, you've got people like Katie Halper, even Brianna Joy Gray, Crystal Ball. These people, we probably don't agree. And I mean, not because we're diametrically opposed, but they're what you would call lefties. And we probably would agree maybe 20%, 30% max, maybe. Unusual stuff. But when it comes to this, all of a sudden people are saying, no, I'm with you on this. What was that again? Hi, I'm Rashida Tlaib. You're Rashida Tlaib? Okay, I'll listen to you, but come in and we'll talk about ceasefire. And who are you? Katie Halper. Katie Halper? Max Blumenthal? Aaron Mate? Okay, have a seat. Who are you? John Mearsheimer? Have a seat. Now, this tent is like filling up with people. It's like, this is the weird. Judge Napolitano? Mr. Libertarian? Okay, come on. Scott Ritter? Okay, come on, have a seat. Who? Amy Goodman? Come on in. Cenk Uygur. Oh, we got to bring Cenk in here too. Now you might say, oh God, Cenk. No. We need him. Why? He's the castrated mosquito. What I mean is he is the biomedically fixed mosquito, the neutered mosquito that throws off the ecosystem of mosquitoes in various countries. That's what he does. Bring him in and feed him and send him back out to destroy. He and all of the aforementioned lefties can't stand Kamala. So hold your nose and invite him in, have him sit down, be nice, give him some crumb cake, little cup of tea or coffee, and have them join our tent. Now, after this is over, we'll probably break up again and never talk to each other. Kind of like Christmas is around families around Christmas time. You've seen that. You get together and then you never see each other, or a wedding or a funeral, and you never see these people. That's what I want. I want to say, not are you a Republican, not are you a conservative, are you voting for Trump? Yeah, come on in, have a seat. Nice to meet you. I don't want to know anything about you. Are you voting for Trump? Yeah, have a nice seat. Come on in, have a seat. I don't want to talk about it. You can walk in 7 feet tall, a man named Gus with a big bouffant hair. You could be like divine on acid, whatever that means. Hi, I'm voting for Trump. Have a seat. What are you going to do? Come on in. Who are you? I'm Asian. Have a seat. I'm Latino. Have a seat. I'm black. I'm black Asian. I'm Kablan Asian. I'm Tiger Woods. Have a seat. Are you voting for Trump? Yeah, come on in. Have a seat. That's it. I don't care who you are. I'm voting for him. Sit down. That's it. It's my party. Now, afterwards, have a nice day. We'll get together. Maybe we'll meet again. Maybe we'll talk about some other stuff. But for the time being, that's it. That's what I want to do. Not Christians. No. I don't care who you are. Are you voting for Trump? Yes. That's it. Thank you. I don't care who you are. Let's all wear masks. Kind of like a Kubrick, eyes wide shut. We'll just meet together, kind of like an Illuminati. We'll vote together. One thing, Trump. That's it. I guarantee you, if you're black, if you're gay, if you're Asian, if you're straight, if you're old, if you're young, if you're this or that, you will never do better. Trump doesn't give a damn about your sexuality or anything else. All he wants to do is make you stronger, make you richer, want to be able to, you like your car, you like your gas stove and your ceiling fans and your pizza ovens and kids going to school and boys and girls and vote for him. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. This is easy. This is a no-brainer. Kamala, wish you well, but not as president. Don't mind me. Sorry. And Hollywood, you're through. You are so done. It's so over. And George Clooney, you're next. And all the phonies. And I got to say something. All these people with all their business about non-gender. If you knew the closeted gay men and women in Hollywood who are hiding their sexuality but want you and your kids to pledge fealty to these weird crypto-gendered whatever it is when they don't have the guts because their career will be over. Remember something. Hollywood has never appreciated a, quote, leading man or action hero who's gay. Doesn't work. It's stupid. But by the way, good news. You know what that is? Good news. Hollywood's going to be all AI before you know it. Hollywood's dead. It's going to be all kind of like, Marvel comics. It's going to be great if it's sad because people like Robert Downey Jr., he makes his money, even though he tries his best. He's one of the best actors we've ever had. Tropic Thunder was so brilliant, but he's going to be Iron Man till he's Mick Jagger's age because it makes so much money. Now, remember something. I'm not saying things because I like them to be this way. This is the way they are, period. End of discussion. I'm not trying to change things. I want you to accept certain things. And I want to make sure that we get the people who are in charge to see it our way. I want to win. That's it. I want Trump to win. And after that, you can go back to whatever you want to do. You can hate each other or go back and talk about, I don't care what you talk about. I've got 66 days. Get him elected, and then we'll worry about something else. This is not parochial, and it's nothing personal. But remember, as Jack Reacher said, remember, you wanted this. Okay, dear friends? Great. Warren Ocasio says, castrate a mosquito. Thank you for enriching my vocabulary and making me think. Indeed. We know the whole story about the eunuchs. They're taking the mosquitoes and they're reintroducing these eunuch people. Crypto said, I'd meet and vote daily. Indeed. Here in Milwaukee, Kelly Ray says, here in Milwaukee, it's heavy blue, but we're seeing great chants recently. We wear our Trump gear and get compliments this time, not arguments. I like this. We see Kelly is very interesting. And by Wisconsin is a great. Madison, I went to a wedding one time in Marshfield. Oh my God. Party. Kendra Setlauter. Are you missing? I don't want to presume that you missed a few vowels there, but thank you. I appreciate that immensely. Kendra. Where do I know that? Some famous Kendras. What am I thinking of it? There's a Kendra. This is my brain lately. I've got like 9 million things going on. I'll think, Kendra. Then I'll be in a conversation tomorrow, and I'll think, Katrina and the Waves. What? I've been trying to think of the name. Walking on Sunshine. What? Anyway, it's the way I think. I'm sorry. It's the way I am. I can't change. So anyway, thank you for that. Crypto Domini, thank you. Andrew Hessing, WM Fishman, Edie, Gracie Loves George, Crypto, again, we love you. Dr. Dream Killer, Laurie Cuck, Kevin, Buddha TT Boy, Mr. Lenz, Gracie Loves George, and Edie, we love you. Miss Crypto, Chervone, Kendra, thank you. We see Kelly, Warren. Going back to the idea when it comes to Wisconsin or whatever it is, today, Mrs. Elder and I were driving around. We're driving back from, we go to Jersey, we shop, and we see my favorite Muslim Ghanan guy at my filling station. Get a fill up the Yugo. It's an absolute beaut. It's a stretch. Anyway, but we see this truck, big pickup truck with a big American flag and a big Trump flag driving through, Bloomfield Avenue, kind of around Tony Soprano, and that's heavy blue supposedly as well. You will never know about the polls because remember something. There are people who are going to be voting at the last minute. There are people who are going to be throwing it. And that's the people I want. I want independents. I want undecideds. And I want to make sure that all of those ballots, every single ballot that I can walk into I can go to Madison or whatever, or by the way, is Figgy's still there? Figgy's was a great cheese place across from Marshfield, if I recall correctly. They had a cheddar years ago with crystals, yeast. This was the sharpest thing. In any event, I want to make sure that I go into any Secretary of State office, grab any ballot that comes in, and say, this name here, Demetrius Splitkin, does he exist? Yes, he is on the roll. This address, 123 Main Street? Yes, it is a home. Are there other people from this address who have sent in mail-in ballots? No. We have 3 people total, and they live there. That's all I want. Has Laura Trump guaranteed that? Maybe, but I'm not putting any money on it. And also, I want to have, and I can't say this, I want to have a group of people that I would ask President Trump, I want you to enlist me, or put it this way, I'm going to forever walk away from you now, and I don't want you to endorse this, but I want to do our own magic of the black ops. I don't want to break laws. There's no excuse for that, but I want to show the dark art of propagandizing. I want to have my own special political police, so to speak. Andrew says Charlie Kirk would have been better luck watching U.S. Postal Service. Listen, God bless Charlie Kirk, okay? But if you can't see this phony baloney, it's all about this. No, not money, this. There was a comedian years ago. I think I've told you this. I don't know who it was, or maybe not a comedian. I thought this was and I don't know who said it, and I've been doing it ever since. And I'd give attribution if I know who said it. But he said, you know why I'm doing this? Because of this. Money? No, this. I don't know what that is. I love that. It's like years ago, I remember somebody saying, I've always been frightened by the size of Lincoln's ears. Marfan syndrome, by the way. That's what bin Laden had. Interesting. Yeah, isn't it? So you don't think bin Laden was... Really? Benazir Bhutto doesn't either. But we'll get to that later on. Number 2 is I often go to bed without saying goodbye. All right, dear friends, that's it. You have a great and a glorious day. Let me see. Has this dropped? That's what the kids call it, by the way. Do you know that? The kids call it when there's a new video, they say it drops. Has it dropped yet? This one's called. No, this one's later. Yeah. This one's called Once Upon a Time Soprano star Michael Imperioli blasted for fawning over an old Kamala photo. And I break it down. That's available. Lionel Nation members can see that. That will drop later this evening at about an hour. Well, less than an hour. All right, dear friends. Happy end of August. By the way, before I forget, stop. Want to play Memory Lane? All of you kids, you can go now. The old farts are going to be talking. Do you remember Labor Day? Jerry Lewis Labor Day telethon? Do you remember Labor Day? I had a buddy one time named Tim. And we used to live years ago in Tampa, right on the river, Hillsborough River. It's beautiful. And he says, come on over and whatever. And he brought, we would watch the entire weekend. I think we might have gone home and bathed or something. But we watched the entire Jerry Lewis from top to bottom. When Jerry was drinking, doing the Percodan, smoking. We saw the year with Dean Martin, Lola Falana, but Lenny Kazan. Wonderful. Lenny Kazan. I met her. She was such a nice person. I really loved her. Later on, I knew her. But do you remember when Jerry would come out? And you'll never walk alone. I mean, whoever walk on, he can't sing. But he was so out of his mind. Remember the greasy hair? It was wonderful. Every year, remember it was American Airlines? No, National Airlines. I think it's National. The guy in the wheelchair, I'm alive. Oh my God. My kids. We'll never see that again. You know what's also the saddest thing is to see on 55th Street or whatever it is, to see the Friars Club chained up, closed. Look at this, Sarah. Walk on. I think that's not it. Hang on, there she is. Walk on, and you'll never walk alone. That terrible vibrato. Why did people do that? Why did they sing like that? When I was a kid, I used to love these shows. When I heard Anthony Newley, who sings like that? Watch Anthony Newley, isn't he married to Liza Minnelli at one time? I think. As a kid, I used to watch Carol Channing. So who the hell? Diamond Sarah girls back. Stop, cut. Who sings like that? What are you doing? These weird. But I loved it. Show business. We don't have that anymore, my friends. We don't have that. Milton DeLugg. It was wonderful. In any event, I'll just think. I watch on YouTube the old great, the 3:00 in the morning. The guy would come in with a big check. Jerry, we have been a part of your kids for the longest time, and that's why the independent 7-Eleven owners of North America provide you with this check for $4 billion. Timpani. And it would be Ed McMahon and Sammy Davis Jr. And I was on one time at the Bayfront Center. It was a local thing. It was a radio station. And I was one of the people watching. Oh, Jimmy Durante. Well, Jimmy Durante was. You're right. He was. Good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. Ink-a-dink-a-doo. Anyway, there I was on this channel 10, I think it was, or channel, it was John Wilson, somebody. And we said, we're here today from our local radio station. We got WFLA. Here's Lionel. I was right in the front. How are you? With their phones. Thank you. Jerry Lewis Telethon, may I help you? Yes, thank you very much. Yes, okay, thank you. And and whether I was on the phone or not, I'm on the phone. Thank you. Yes, right. And I'm writing all this stuff down. And other people are like this. Nobody's calling, but I'm like this all that. Yes, I'm right. And I would tear another page off, and I was complete pantomime. And somebody said, boy, you're getting some calls, but we don't hear the phone ring. I said, because I'm making it up. Oh, okay. So there was a person next to me. I don't know who this person was, but they were there, and they were sat down. And I'm looking around. They have a little office desk, and I pulled the drawer open, and they had Scotch tape, adhesive tape, and then an old phone, a regular phone. So I took a piece of the tape, and when you pick the phone, kids don't know this. When you lift the phone off, the two prongs that pop up, well, I would tape that down so that when the phone rang next to me, ring, he'd take the phone up. Thank you for calling Jerry Lewis. Ring. Thank you for calling Jerry Lewis. Ring. And it's still ringing because the plunger is taped down. It thinks the cradle is still on it. Now, he's not thinking this. The camera's there, the light's there, and this guy's talking, John Wilson. Thank you very much to the 75th ring. Hello. Yes, Jerry Lewis. And you could hear him in the back of ring. What the hell is, hello. Yes. What's with this phone? Ring. This is, and I never crack up when it's, and of course have no recording of this. If it's a VCR, no nothing. Nobody, no YouTube. But I'm watching this fellow. He's like taking the phone, hitting it. We're right in the front. So you see this. Thank you very much. So far, we're here. Beautiful day, front and center. And I'm John Wilson. I'm Channel 10. Ring. Hello. The guy's banging the phone. And I'm looking like this, like, I don't know what's going on. He never thought to look and see that the plunger was depressed. Why? I'm a kidder. Okay? I'm a kidder. It's who I am. And what are you going to do? All right, dear friends, we love you. Have a great and a glorious night. Please also follow. Make sure you follow. Write down these links right now. Mrs. L's. Here we go. It's Mrs. L's Lynn's Warriors channel and her Twitter as well. And that's it. As I eructate, as I wax, Borba Rigmick. Thank you so much. All right, my friends. Have a great, 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 great evening. Benji says, huge blue wave, baby. Well, we will see, Benji. And by the way, you are always welcome here. Do not think for a moment that you must be correct. You must be American. You must be lucid. You must be in complete possession of your faculties. You don't have to be, as long as you're respectful. And I think nobody ever exemplifies this more than my personal favorite, Mr. Johnny Ballgame, who is a cross between Professor Irwin Corey and a Hallmark birthday card. And I mean that sincerely. And I mean that from the heart, brother. All right, my friends, have a great and glorious day. See you tomorrow. Happy end of August. September tomorrow. And you know what's coming up. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious night. Don't forget the monkey's dead. The show's over soon.